An unprecedented number of Californians left for other states during the last decade, and in the last year, that exit has accelerated to historic proportions. About 5 million Californians left between 2004 and 2013. Roughly 3.9 million people came here from other states during that period, for a net population loss of more than 1 million people. Last year, California saw a net loss of almost 150,000. You do the math. If the present numbers continue, that number over the next decade could well reach over 2 million. The Democrat-controlled state is in crisis. Over the past 20 years, California has experienced its slowest rates of growth ever recorded and an unprecedented migration of residents to other states. From 2006 to 2016, California's population grew by 9%, which was low for the state and barely higher than the rest of the nation, 8%. More than 10 million Californians are immigrants. According to 2015 estimates, 27% of Californians, 7 million, are foreign-born. That is a higher proportion than in any other state. New York is second with 23% and twice the nationwide share, 13%. Taking that into account and the overall history of the growth of California, the mass exit is bigger than just the figures show. And the problem has accelerated over the last 2 years. The rate at which California has been losing people to other states has accelerated in the past couple of years, in part because of rising housing costs, said Jed Kolko, chief economist with employment website Indeed.com. He said the latest Census Bureau data, from July 2016 to July 2017, show more people moved out of California to other states than moved in from other states. In other words, California lost people due to domestic migration. During that 12-month period, California saw a net loss of just over 138,000 people. Texas had a net increase of more than 79,000 people. Arizona gained more than 63,000 residents, and Nevada gained more than 38,000. You can literally have a lot of buying power for the dollar in southern Nevada versus southern California, said Christopher Bishop, president of the Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors. So it has been a major trend over the year and a half, and we're seeing it increase. The trend over the last decade resulted in a net loss of about $26 billion in annual income. Thus the reason that California keeps raising taxes at every turn. That, of course, increases the numbers leaving California for lower taxes. California recently created a 41% increase in the gas tax. People cannot even afford to drive to work. There's nowhere in the United States that you can find better weather than here, said Dave Sensor, who lives on a fixed income near San Luis Obispo, California, and now plans to move to Las Vegas. Rents here are crazy if you can find a place, and they're going to tax us to death. That's what it feels like. At least in Nevada they don't have a state income tax. And every little bit helps. Sensor, 65, who previously lived in the East San Francisco Bay region, said housing costs and gas prices are significantly lower in Las Vegas. The government in the state of California isn't helping people like myself. That's why people are running out of this state now. California takes more and more money from people in order to solve its problems. But Californians aren't getting better government service for this money. Thanks to the state's debts and pension crisis, all that extra money is going to pension obligations. These obligations continue to grow as part of the budget. And don't even mention basic cost of living. The median rent for a two-bedroom apartment in the Los Angeles area is $3,200 and in San Francisco about $4,500. To actually buy a home is impossible to do, let alone discuss. California's median price statewide for an existing single-family home? $600,000. For a lot of people, renting is the only option they have because it's tough to afford a house here, said Steve Feldman, a Keller Williams real estate agent in the L.A. San Fernando Valley region, which, in turn, is helping exacerbate the mass exodus. You can buy a ranch in Texas for the value of a small home in California. And people are doing so. People who have owned their house for quite a while can cash out with quite a nice bit of money in their hands, said Feldman. They can go to another state and buy a house for a fraction of what they have here and tuck away a lot of money and retire, work or bring their cost of living and overhead down. So the exodus accelerates. So has homelessness in California, and as well the income inequality gap. California, recently rated number 1 for worst quality of life and named the poverty capital of America. How far will it go before Californians get smart and remove the socialists from Sacramento?